How's it going, everybody? And welcome to a late night edition of the College Football Show with Alec Peccato. Tonight's show is going to be based on the American Athletic Conference win totals and bold predictions by me for the college football season. Let's get started. So here are my win totals for the AAC this year. In last place, I have Temple. I think they're going to win. I think they're only going to win 2 games this year. And in a few minutes, you will see whether their coach is safe in my bold predictions or whether he's going to be. See ya, bye. At number 13, I have North Texas. I have their win total at 4 wins. I don't like what they've done in the portal. Now, that's not to say that they can't win more than 4 games. I think there's a possibility that they can win more than 4 games, but I don't see it. I think 4 wins is their ceiling. Their floor is 2. And 12th, I have East Carolina. Now, East Carolina is an interesting team. They did terrible last year, and I'm surprised their coach, quote unquote, hint, hint, did not get fired. Now, I'm not saying he's going to get fired this year if they don't start the year good, but you never know. At number 11, I've got Rice. Their win total for me is set at, East Carolina's win total is, correction, let me get back to number 13. So 13 is East Carolina. I have them set at 5.5 wins. Now, they were one of the worst teams in the American last year. But I think they're going to turn that around, and I think they're going to be better this year. Not saying how much better they're going to be, but I do think they're going to be a better team this year than they were last year. At number 11 in the American is Rice. And their win total for me is 6.5 wins. Yes, I think Rice can make a bowl game. But here's the issue I have. Are they going to be able to hang with some of the big dogs in this conference this year? If they are, then I can see them easily winning 9 games. If they can't, then their win total is going to be, their win total for me is 6. 6.5. But like I said, if they stick around in some games and they surprise some teams, they can easily win more than 6 games. At number 10 in the American, for my American Athletic Conference win totals, is Navy. I have them sitting at 7 wins. I know it says 7.5 because I was trying to round up and get round numbers. But I think 7.5 to 7 to 8 wins. Logistically, 7 wins is the perfect number for Navy. And I think Navy's going to be just fine this year. I think they will win at least 7 games. At number 9, it's Tulsa. Kevin Wilson's second year. He won 5 games last year. I think he's going to round that up to a nice round number and 7. I think 7 wins is a nice threshold for Tulsa this year in the American. I think 7 wins is a nice threshold for them. At number 8 is Biff Poggi. My favorite coach's name to say in the American, Biff Poggi. I think Charlotte's gonna win. I think their win total for me is 8. I think I like what Charlotte has done in the portal, and I think Charlotte is going to make some noise in the American Athletic Conference this year. At number 7 is Army, newcomer, and the biggest rival of Navy. And I see Jeff Monken and Army winning 8 games this year. I don't think that's too much to ask for in Army's first year in a conference. 8 wins, I think, is a realistic goal for Army. At 6th in the American, if you notice, there's 3 teams I have bunched up here at 8 wins. And that third team is UAB. I think UAB can easily win. Not UAB. Yes. I think UAB can win 8 games this year. Improved from last year. But I think UAB can win 8 games this year, and that's their win total for me. And 5th in the American, I have FAU, and their win total for me sits at 9.5, which is 9 wins, which I think is very realistic for FAU. Their second year in the American, and Tom Herman's 4th or 5th year as the head coach. I think they can make steady improvements in the American in their second year and compete for a conference title. Now we're getting into the top 4. At number 4 in the American is Tulane. And I have them winning. Their win total for me is 10. It says 10.5. But if you run that down, it's 10. Round it up, it's 11. I think they're going to win somewhere around 10 or 11 games. I really like what John Summerall has done in the portal for Tulane. Bringing in a transfer quarterback, and bringing in some of his guys from his previous coaching, his previous school. I still like Tulane to finish in the top 4, whether it be 4, 3, 2, or maybe win the conference again. But at number 3, UTSA. And my win total for UTSA is 11 wins. I think they can get that 11 wins with maybe 1 or 2 losses. And that being the one being to USF and 1 being to Memphis. But Jeff, the reason they're this high is the continuity. A lot of guys returning, besides Frank Harris, and besides a couple other guys that jumped in the portal. But other than that, they have a lot of guys returning. And Jeff Traylor's one of the best group of 5 head coaches. I'm surprised he didn't get hired to be a big-time head coach somewhere. At number 2 is Memphis. And my win total for Memphis this year is 11 wins. I think Memphis can easily win 11 games this year in the American Athletic Conference and finish it in the top 2. In winning the American this year is going to be South Florida, and their win total for me sits at 12 wins, the highest in the American. I really like what South Florida's done in recruiting, a top 40 recruiting class, which is good. They returned a lot of guys from last year to South Florida. And I really like the continuity they're going to have. here are my bold predictions for college football. My number 5 bold prediction for college football this year is in week 2. South Florida goes up to Tuscaloosa and beats Alabama. Now, if you haven't heard, this is the game I was supposed to go to in September. But I've changed my plans, and I'm going to another SEC school, which I will be releasing teasers for coming up at the end of August. But my number 4 bold prediction is the duo of Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson will be the best running back duo in college football in 2024. Now, for those of you, you can either agree or disagree with me on any of these bold predictions. Place your bold predictions for college football 2024 down below in the comments of this video. And please remember also to like and subscribe. Back to the video. My number 3 bold prediction, and I mentioned it a minute ago, the coaching trio of Stan Drayton, Billy Napier, and Mike Houston will all be fired before the end of the 2024 college football season. I thought Stan Drayton and Billy Napier would have been in, all 3 of these guys. I thought they would have been gone last offseason, this offseason. I'm surprised their teams are keeping them one more year. But if they don't start the year off good, which 2 out of these 3 I think are certainly gone if their team doesn't start out the year really good. And that would be Stan Drayton and Billy Napier. But I think all 3 guys get fired. Bold prediction number 2. Texas finishes second in the SEC in its first season in the SEC. Yes, you heard that right. That is my number 2 bold prediction. I think Texas, they return a lot of production from last year. They did lose. Ja'Javion Sanders did go pro. Xavier Worthy did go pro. And so did A.D. Mitchell. They got a bunch of other receivers that I think they're going to be just fine. With Quentin Ewers coming back. And my number 1 bold prediction for 2024 college football is Michigan will underperform in its first season post Jim Harbaugh era. Yes, if you haven't heard, Harbaugh jumped ship back to the NFL, and he is now the coach of the LA Chargers. So Sharon Moore has taken over as the new head coach at Michigan, and I think Sharon Moore, I think he's ready to be a head coach, but how sure are we that Michigan is going to compete in the Big Ten this year? I'm not so sure. I think they underperform due to the expectations they've been set the last couple years. But, and there's a couple other things I'm going to cover tonight on the show. One of them being they're already talking about expanding the playoff again from 12 teams to 14. And we haven't even had the first year of the 12-team playoff. And I don't know what the committee, the NCAA is doing here. Why do they want to expand the playoff again to 14 teams when they haven't even tried the 12-team playoff? I don't care that you want more auto bids. I don't care about that. I don't care about money. I just want to see good college football. And I don't feel like you're going to get that by expanding the playoff to 14 teams. Now, again, put in the comment section your opinion on this matter and whether you think the NCAA, the playoffs should be expanded to 14 teams or should it stay at 12. And the other two things I'm going to talk about is Western Kentucky and UMass. UMass, if y'all didn't hear, is going back to the Mid-American Conference for every sport. And yes, they weren't independent in football in all sports for a while. Well, no, they weren't. In basketball, they weren't a independent. They were in the A10, which the Atlantic 10 is not happy that UMass is leaving. But I think this is a good move for UMass because it helps UMass get more money in now that they're going to be in an actual conference. And the other team joining the MAC is Western Kentucky. And I like this for Western Kentucky. They move up the pecking order. They were in Conference USA, but now they get into the transition over the MAC, and I like this for them a lot. It's better competition. Not saying that Conference USA wasn't good competition for them, but I feel like they're going to do a lot better in the MAC starting in 2025, 2026. But, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for tonight's episode of the College Football Show. I will see y'all back here on Thursday with a double upload starting at 12 o'clock and then one at 2 o'clock on Thursday. Have a great rest of your night. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like on the video. Let's try to get this video to 10 likes for another episode of the College Football Show. 10 likes. I think that's an easy goal. Have a great rest of your evening.